Mastering liquidity management. Our liquidity management strategy is failing to fuel our business goals. Why does our organization's current liquidity management strategy, which encompasses its approach to managing cash, funding, and financial risk, need to be assessed in terms of its alignment with our overall business objectives? And what specific elements of the strategy are critical to achieving operational excellence in liquidity management? I recall a particular instance where I was advising a prominent global bank on their liquidity management strategy. As we delved deeper into their current approach, I sensed a disconnect between their liquidity management and their overall business objectives. The bank's treasury team was overly focused on short-term cash forecasting, which led to a reactive approach to managing liquidity. They were consistently struggling to maintain an optimal balance between cash reserves and investments, resulting in missed opportunities and undue risk exposure. The funding and financial risk management aspects were equally disconnected, with separate teams working in silos, each with their own goals and metrics. I posed a simple question to the team: what is the purpose of our liquidity management strategy? The responses were varied, but none aligned with the bank's overall business objectives. It was clear that their strategy was not designed to support the organization's goals, but rather to check boxes on a regulatory compliance list. I shared an anecdote from my own experience, working with a small nonprofit organization that faced a severe liquidity crisis during an economic downturn. The organization's leadership had to make tough decisions, prioritizing resources and reallocating funds to ensure survival. This experience taught me that liquidity management is not just about numbers. It's about making conscious choices that align with the organization's values and goals. I proposed a new approach, one that would integrate cash, funding, and financial risk management into a cohesive strategy aligned with the bank's business objectives. The treasury team would need to adopt a more forward-thinking mindset, focusing on proactive liquidity planning and continuous monitoring. We began by redefining the bank's liquidity management objectives, ensuring they were closely tied to the organization's overall goals. This involved identifying key performance indicators, KPIs, that would measure the strategy's effectiveness in supporting business growth, risk management, and regulatory compliance. Next, we redesigned the treasury team's organizational structure, breaking down silos and establishing cross-functional teams focused on specific aspects of liquidity management. This facilitated collaboration, enabled data sharing, and ensured that each team member understood their role in achieving operational excellence. To enhance cash forecasting, we implemented advanced analytics and machine learning techniques, incorporating macroeconomic indicators, industry trends, and internal data to create more accurate and reliable forecasts. This enabled the team to make informed decisions about cash allocation and funding, reducing the risk of liquidity crises. The funding and financial risk management aspects were integrated into a unified framework, allowing the team to holistically assess and manage risk. This involved developing scenario planning and stress testing capabilities, which helped identify potential vulnerabilities and opportunities for improvement. Throughout this process, I sensed a shift in the team's mindset. They began to see liquidity management as a strategic enabler, rather than a compliance exercise. They started to make conscious choices about resource allocation, prioritizing investments that supported business growth and de-risking initiatives. The outcome was striking. The bank's liquidity management strategy was transformed, aligning with their overall business objectives and supporting operational excellence. They were able to maintain an optimal balance between cash reserves and investments, reduce risk exposure, and capitalize on new business opportunities. As I reflect on this experience, I'm reminded that liquidity management is not just about numbers. It's about making deliberate choices that align with an organization's values and goals. By adopting a forward-thinking approach, integrating cross-functional teams, and leveraging advanced analytics, organizations can achieve operational excellence in liquidity management and drive long-term success. Our organization's current liquidity management strategy, which encompasses its approach to managing cash, funding, and financial risk, requires a thorough assessment to ensure its alignment with our overall business objectives. This evaluation is essential to identify areas of improvement and optimize the strategy to achieve operational excellence in liquidity management. To begin with, a comprehensive review of the current strategy is necessary to determine its effectiveness in managing cash flow, funding, and financial risk. This involves analyzing the organization's cash management practices, including cash forecasting, cash concentration, and cash disbursement processes. The funding strategy should also be assessed to determine its alignment with the organization's overall funding requirements, including the management of debt, equity, and other funding sources. Additionally, the financial risk management framework should be evaluated to ensure that it adequately identifies, assesses, and mitigates risks associated with market volatility, credit risk, and operational risk. The alignment of the liquidity management strategy with the organization's overall business objectives is critical to achieving operational excellence. The strategy should be designed to support the organization's growth objectives, risk tolerance, and return on investment expectations. A misaligned strategy can lead to inefficient use of resources, increased risk exposure, and decreased profitability. Therefore, it is essential to establish clear key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure the strategy's effectiveness in achieving its objectives. These KPIs should include metrics such as cash flow volatility, funding costs, and risk exposure to ensure that the strategy is on track to meet its objectives. Several critical elements of the strategy are essential to achieving operational excellence in liquidity management. Firstly, accurate cash forecasting is vital to ensure that the organization has sufficient liquidity to meet its financial obligations. This involves developing robust cash forecasting models that take into account historical trends, seasonal fluctuations, and external factors such as market volatility and economic trends. Secondly, a robust funding strategy is necessary to ensure access to sufficient funding sources at optimal costs. This involves diversifying funding sources, managing debt maturities, and maintaining a strong credit rating to access capital markets at favorable terms. Thirdly, effective financial risk management is crucial to mitigate risks associated with market volatility, credit risk, and operational risk. This involves developing a comprehensive risk management framework that identifies, assesses, and mitigates risks through hedging, diversification, and other risk management techniques. Fourthly, a robust liquidity reserve policy is essential to ensure that the organization has sufficient liquidity to withstand financial shocks and maintain business continuity. This involves setting aside a portion of the organization's assets in highly liquid instruments, such as cash, treasury bills, and commercial paper. Fifthly, a strong governance framework is necessary to ensure that the liquidity management strategy is aligned with the organization's overall business objectives and risk tolerance. This involves establishing clear roles and responsibilities, setting limits and authorities, and conducting regular strategy reviews and assessments. Lastly, advanced analytics and digital technologies are essential to achieving operational excellence in liquidity management. This involves leveraging data analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence to optimize cash forecasting, funding, and risk management processes. Digital technologies, such as blockchain, cloud computing, and robotics process automation, can also be used to streamline processes, reduce costs, and improve efficiency. In conclusion, a thorough assessment of the organization's current liquidity management strategy is necessary to ensure its alignment with overall business objectives and to identify areas of improvement. The critical elements of the strategy, including cash forecasting, funding, financial risk management, liquidity reserve policy, governance framework, and advanced analytics, must be optimized to achieve operational excellence in liquidity management. By implementing these measures, the organization can ensure that it has sufficient liquidity to meet its financial obligations, minimize risk exposure, and maximize returns on investment.
It was unbelievably painful.